What is up guys, it's Troy at the Full Setup here, back with another video for you, and today I've got a review of a mouse, the Gamemax Strike, and most importantly their new Gamemax Strike mechanical RGB keyboard. Now this keyboard is available for £40. We're going to take a good close look at this in a minute, and this mouse is available for £15. Now I'm also giving this mouse and keyboard away as well. It ends on the 17th of April and you can find out how to enter in the description below. But we're going to take you up for an up and closey in a minute. Going to show you around it. We're going to do some gaming, some typing tests versus some blue switches. And then I'm going to come back with my final thoughts and feelings, pros and cons of both the products, but the focus is mostly going to be on the keyboard for this video. So I'm going to start by unboxing both the products and having a little bit of a closer look, but the video is going to mostly focus on the Strike mechanical keyboard. Now they sent the mouse over as an extra to go with the competition because they wanted to do it as like a bundle, but yes, we're going to mostly focus on the keyboard then. So let's have a little look around the box. We've got the Strike RGB mechanical keyboard. Got some features here, so mechanical red switch, RGB backlit with 16.8 million colors, 12 multimedia functions, N-key rollover, and Windows and Mac compatible as well. And this is using red switches, so they are linear and silent with up to 50 million strokes as well. Gamemax logo with Dare to Win. Strike mechanical keyboard on the side there. It's a bit more of an uppy closey. And then there is some more specs, including the dimensions. Nothing about the weight though. This is feeling like a weighty keyboard. I'm actually quite looking forward to using this keyboard. And then here is the Strike gaming mouse. You can see it there. We've got the RGB going around it. Another RGB Gamemax logo on there as well. Strike RGB gaming mouse. Gaming optical mouse with 4 function keys. Again, full specs on the back here. You can change the DPI from 1200, 1600, 2000 and 3200. Would have really liked to have seen 800 because I actually game at 800 DPI. And it's a 140 gram mouse as well. So let's get the keyboard unboxed. So it's pretty well packaged in here, to be fair. Everything is in there nice and snug. Gonna put the keyboard to one side. You get this nice wrist rest as well. And then you just get this, let's have a look. Is that going to focus? Well, it's a manual. It's basically going to tell you which keys you need to do your lights, and it's going to tell you what the multimedia keys do, but I'm sure you can figure that one out all on your own. And here is the keyboard. It's all finished in black on the top. We've got a Gamemax logo. Keys are feeling rather, well, feeling and sounding rather silent. Solidly built. There is no flex in this at all. I mean, for a £40 keyboard, this is solid. This is a seriously solid keyboard. It's got lots of weight on it. Let's have a little look. See, we've got red switches there. Over to the back of the keyboard, we have footrests. And we have this nice channel for doing the cable. The cable is braided. That's plenty long enough. Does it say how long the cable was on the back of the box? Because I haven't got my tape measure with me. 1.8 meters, so it is plenty long enough. And you can also set how you want it to come out of the keyboard as well. So you can have it coming out the middle, or you could have it down the side. I think the side's good because you'd have your mouse on one side of it, so then you can sort of tie those two cables together. Would just look for a neater job. Does feel nice on the stand. And then we have this that should just clip in. It's really hard because I got my bloody camera right in front of me. There we go. And then we have the wrist rest as well, which does feel very nice. I haven't got wrist rest on any of my other smaller keyboards because I normally use 10 keyless, but I think on a larger keyboard it is quite nice to have the wrist rests. And before we plug it in, we're going to unbox the mouse as well. Do this. Oh, that's just the top of the box in case you thought something just flew off it. Again, it's got a 1.8 meter braided cable. Not gonna lie, I have already unboxed this, so that's why that's come out so easy. So here is the mouse. You're gonna have this that lights up the side here. Got 2 function buttons on the side. All feels very nice. Feels very nice in my hand. I've got quite small hands, but immediately does feel nice in the hand. And here is your DPI switch. Now for 1200 DPI it will be blue, for 1600 DPI it will be pink, for 2000 DPI it will be red, and for 3200 DPI it will be purple. So yeah, that's quite good. And there is a little button on the bottom here, you press that and it switches the RGB mode. So I'm going to get it all plugged in and we can have a closer look. So the keyboard is now plugged in. As you can see, it is beautiful. This is a beautiful looking RGB keyboard. Like, I'm pretty shocked that this keyboard is £40. So a huge pro straight away is that this is a UK layout keyboard. Now, a lot of the keyboards that you see on Amazon and eBay that are going to be selling for this price, competing RGB mechanical keyboards, a lot of them say that they're UK, and I've bought them, they've turned out, and they're not, and they're American. And I know that's going to be a deal breaker for some of you, or it's just going to annoy you. It annoys me a bit because I actually work in IT, so I type on a UK keyboard all day, and then I come home and most of my other keyboards are actually in US format. So this is in UK format. As you can see, the @ symbol is in the right location. Things like the backslashes, pound symbols, hashtags, everything is in the right place. Now you have 12 multimedia keys all at the top here. So you just press FN, and that's launched the calculator behind me. Now doing the light effects is a cinch on this keyboard. So you just press the FN key. Up and down is brightness. And as you can see, it flashes here. Now when it's flashing, that means you are, you know, as dim as you can be and as bright as you can be. So I really like that all the lights flash out. I've had previous ones where it flashes on the cap lock, but I think that's good just to let you know that you're at the end of the cycle. And you can do the speed as well by doing the arrow keys. So you've got the plus and minus, and they are drawn out on here as well. That's one thing that I really like. You'll find with a lot of other Chinese keyboards, they haven't got them on the keys for like the symbols, but you can see here, brightness up and down, speed up and down. You know, I figured this out without even reading the card really. Okay, then now to change the effects, you do the FN and the insert key. So as you can see, that's the sort of chroma. That's like the original sort of razor chroma that we had. You got one where you can just type and it lights up. That's nice, sort of like a wave, waving around. Do that so it's nice and slow. That looks wicked. I'm really liking that one. What else we got? That's just like a solid. And then what you can do is you can press the delete key. And that's going to change, go through all the different colors for you. And we have another, that's like a breathing one. So speed that up a little bit. Oh, that's cool. That like just beams across, like straight across, like horizontal, like that. But then again, yeah, you can press the delete key. That's going to move it again. Then you have it so it's sort of stacked, going up in strips like this. It's probably making no sense the way I'm explaining this. Yeah. Oh, wow, look at that. Just press it and it like pulses. Ooh, pulse, pulse. Oh god, I've just pressed enough keys that I've deleted all my files. I am actually plugged into a computer at the moment. I probably should have just plugged into like a USB plug. And then what else we got? Yeah, and then back to the, pretty sure that was like the original one we were on. Yeah, and then solid colors. So there you go. Lots of functionality, really easy to do. You know, it would have been nice to see software, but at this price, you're generally not going to get software. So we'll have a little look. We'll do a little typing test compared to blues in a second. Let's look at the mouse. Whoa. The mouse is Larry. Got the Gamemax logo here doing the RGB. Pulsating all the way around. RGB round the front. This does look really cool. I'm really liking the look of this mouse. What's that? Just a beam sort of flash. Pulse. It's like a Tron mouse, I would say. This is like. So that's just going to go each color. It's quite hard for me to press this. And then we're back round to the multicolor RGB. So I thought I would just dim the lights for you so you can have a little look. And as you can see, look, it just, the RGB is beautiful. What Gamemax have done here, they've nailed it for the price. Both of these, £55, nailed it. Absolutely nailed it on the RGB. But RGB is great. We need to see how both of these perform. We need to see how the mouse performs in gaming. We're going to look at that in a minute. And we need to do a couple of typing tests as well. I want to compare this to the blues for sounds for you. Anyone that was looking between maybe a blue or a red switch, this might help you out a little bit. So I thought we would do a quick sound comparison test then, because I've been using blue switches for about 2 years, you know, just your cheap Chinese keyboards, mechanical keyboards, anywhere between 30 or 40 quid. You know, I just refuse to spend any more on keyboards, and I've been using blue switches. And as you can hear, blue switches, super clicky, really bottom out as well. You're going to hear that bottom out sound, obviously, and the space bar sounds. super loud. Blue switches, see, clicky, and they bottom out quite a bit. Love these switches. Don't think my housemate likes these switches. Work have told me I cannot use this keyboard at work, so I've been actually trying to find a more quiet keyboard for work use. And to be fair, they didn't have a problem with this at work. They actually quite liked it. I let my manager use it, who always thinks I was ridiculous for spending even £40 on a keyboard, and he really liked it. He used it for a couple of hours and he really liked it. So let's listen to the red switches. Blue, clicky. Now obviously the space bar is going to be a little bit noisy because you've only got the one switch, so it's always going to bottom out a bit. Things like the enter key will bottom out a little bit as well, but all in all, these switches are extremely quiet. Now I wouldn't say they're silent, no switches are silent. Now where keyboards like this are going to come in very useful is live streaming. So if you're using a condenser microphone, these are going to be incredibly noisy. You're barely going to hear this. With the microphones that I use, the Rode mics that I use, these are dynamic microphones, so they don't actually pick up a lot of sound, much more than like that far away from you. So even the blues were very silent. You are not going to hear these on live stream. So this keyboard is going to be great. Really like this for typing on. Like I said, I was using it at work and it is a lovely keyboard to type on, but we need to fire up some games. So I've just fired up some Battlefield 5 and the mouse, it does actually feel quite good. I'm quite liking it. Like I said, I wish there was an 800 DPI switch. I've got my sensitivity set to 6, and the reason is I'm on a gaming surface, and on the harder plastic surfaces you need that lower DPI because the mouse just shifts about so much. So I would have really have liked the 800 DPI, but I've got my sensitivity set to like 5% to sort of counteract that a little bit. But yeah, all in all, the mouse is nice. I'm just going to switch to the Logitech. Just going to switch to the Logitech mouse, see how we get on. Oh yeah. Yeah, G402, obviously I'm going to notice a difference on that straight away. But then this is the mouse that this is the mouse that I use every day. Ah, still getting killed anyway. But yeah, for £15, it's a nice mouse. It is a nice mouse and it looks very good as well. Keyboard, what about the keyboard? Well, personally, I think because I've been gaming on blues for like the last 2 years, I do prefer the blues. I prefer to feel that click knowing that I'm hitting the button. I don't feel like I'm hitting the keys. Sometimes it doesn't feel like that, but I think that's just because I've been gaming on a completely different switch for like, a couple of years. But like I said, for live streaming, yeah, definitely would take this over blue switches. And okay. Yeah, enjoy the mouse, enjoy the keyboard. Would personally take blues for gaming. So there was the review then, and I must say I've been thoroughly enjoying using this mouse and keyboard. They've been a pleasure to use, to the point that, to be honest, I don't really want to give them away, but I said I would, so I'm going to have to back up my word. So make sure you enter the competition in the description. Let's start off with the mouse then, because I didn't really show an awful lot on the mouse. Like I said, this was just an extra they sent over. Yeah, I like this mouse. For £15, you really can't make any complaints about it. The RGB on it is absolutely beautiful. Like I said, I would have loved some lower DPI. If this could go down to 800 DPI, I would really, really recommend this as a budget mouse. I would have liked them to have included some more pads in the bottom, a spare set of pads. But yeah, for £15, if you're on a budget, you're not going to dislike this. You're not going to hate this, but compared to like the G402 that I've been using, it is night and day. And you can say that, yes, that mouse is like £40. I actually picked that up on sale for 20 quid, so there are bargains to be had. But yeah, £15, nice RGB, nice braided cable, nice length to it. Now before I move on to telling you what I think about the keyboard, honestly, I was a little bit shocked to get an email from Gamemax wanting to send me more stuff. Like, I did some videos before they contacted me on some of their products, and I was very positive about those products. They sent some stuff over, and to be honest, I was quite critical about them, and I was thinking, maybe they don't want to send me stuff again, but I am glad they did. I am seriously glad they did. Honestly, Josh, I do not want to give this away. If you want to send me over another one, I know I'm being cheeky for asking, but I love this keyboard. The build quality, the construction, everything on it is lovely. The only thing I would say I'd change on it would be a removable braided cable and maybe some software so you can have macro support. But for £40, this thing is just, it's so nice. I mean, there's no flex in it. There's nothing. Everything about it is just this looks like it costs a lot more money, and I would fully recommend it to everyone. Now, like I said in the video there, for me it wasn't the one for me for gaming, because I use blue switches and that's everything I've used for about 3 years now. I think that's more just because I'm a creature of habit. Like, that's what I've been using every day, so it just felt a little bit weird for me. It didn't feel quite correct. But I feel for anyone that doesn't want noisy switches, maybe it's because your partner doesn't want them, because your parents don't want them, or if you're going to use it at work because your colleagues don't want them, and especially for live streaming, those red switches in this keyboard are lovely. They are beautiful, beautiful switches. So, you know, pros and cons of the keyboard, you just had all the pros. Cons, like I said, there aren't really any, but just some changes I would like, things I'd like to see on future models. I think I just mentioned then, removable braided cable would be lovely. Really like to see that, and I would like to see it available in more switch options. I think a lot of people like to game on browns. Well, I know a lot of you like to game on brown, so it'd be good to see a brown switch model as well. But yeah, maybe macro support. If that's your thing, you may well want macro support. It doesn't have any software, you know, and you may want a keyboard where you can sync everything else up, but you know, that's going to cost you like 80 to 100 pounds, and just at 40 quid, like 40 pounds, like I can't. This is the best budget keyboard you can buy. You cannot buy a better keyboard than this, and honestly, I'm not just saying it because they sent it over, because if you check out my other Gamemax reviews, I will bash Gamemax when they get things wrong, but they freaking nailed it with this keyboard. So go out and buy one, go and enter the competition, and Josh, please send me out another one. I really want another one of these.